Hello, everybody. Again, this is Cynthia, and as you guys know, I have a youth organization called Heavenly Sent Youth. You guys go and like the page go to Cynthia Manuel and click on a link, and it'll take you to my website where you'll see all past and up and coming interviews. As always, you guys know that I provide a platform for youth that are doing anything positive, and also I bring in individuals that are an example for our youth. And so without further ado, I have two great friends I met on the campaign trail. I'm so happy to know that they're my friend. We have Karen in the middle, and we have Judge Walton on the further end, and I'll let them introduce themselves to you. And also I want to say this, it was a pleasure meeting these two. I believe in divine connection and, working with, or should I say, sometimes with African American women, we are so catty, we're so judgmental. And we just create this uncomfortable space, and so therefore, you kind of leery of who to approach. And so I just thank God that these two ladies have a spirit to whereas I was able to approach them, and we fell right in and see they were so nice to cut their schedule aside to come in and entertain my guests and let you know what they have to offer. So without further ado, we're going to start with Karen. Karen, tell them who you are, what you got going on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, first I gotta say this. I'm so nervous.
So am I. I'm always nervous.
And I ain't no nervous woman, but it's like not. Bright lights, and I feel like
I'm always the same way. See how fast I talk.
Right. I gotta loosen up or something. But anyway, hello, listening audience. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here with these two queens. My name is Karen Hicks. I work for the Creator. That's really I got a long list of things, but working for the Creator is one of the greatest things that I ever decided to do. I'm a connector. I believe in connecting the dots.
That she is.
I don't believe in real marriage, but I do believe that two things must join to make one, and that's marriage.
Okay.
Two people must meet in order for something to come out of it.
That's deep.
I want to be able to look out the front door. I just want to see our world the way it was when I was coming up. I want us to get back to reading. Something you said about women. We women might want a man, but we really need the support of each other.
I agree.
When you got the support of a woman, whether it's your mother, your grandmother, your friends, whoever, sky's the limit. Because what we don't know is we don't need a man. We should want a man, but we really don't need a man, but a man needs us. But if we don't get our homes together and our communities together, our men are going to be extinct, like for real. It is really just serious. So I am honored to be here. I met you at one of Dr. Wilson's, and as always, I listened to the Spirit, and the Spirit said, get to know her, get in with her. And so tonight, just talking with you a little bit, I'm just enthused because the policies, we don't understand power is in policies, and the position you're running for is a position of policy, a position of rules, a position where you stamp that gavel, and it is. So I'm just honored to be here.
Karen, so the reason
nervous.
I was intrigued, or what got my attention, was the fact that you oversee a program called A Few Good Women. And so, again, like I just mentioned, for me, my circle is males because, again, like I mentioned, women can be a trip. And so when I seen that, I came to one of the meetings and I'm like, wow, these are women in here that's trying to help each other build blocks and create. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I started A Few Good Women because the last business that I had was transportation. And I had one of the largest transportation companies in the south side of Chicago. But in that business, the community, the Jewish community, was governing everything. Most of the women in the business, most of the people in the business were women. So I said, okay, I gotta start getting with these women. See, I own the lounge, so being friends with women was the first thing I learned how to do. Because the more women sit at your bar, the more men gonna come and spend money.
Absolutely so.
So I knew then to get tight with women. So
I love it.
Through all that, we formed an organization. We changed laws. We made it work. I'm talking about top notch, where everybody was making millions of dollars. But when the system failed, and I came back to Chicago in 2013, I said, wait a minute. I don't want to do this again without the support of queens. And the only thing I need is a few good women. So I started watching women on Facebook. Now, you would never thought I would be a Facebook person at all, okay? And I started watching people on Facebook, and one of the first women that I followed on Facebook was Vitra's Boyce. And Vitra's was so bold. One day she told a story about how she started out as a receptionist. And I followed her, and I watched how she helped with children. Then the next person was this. So each woman I followed. I didn't just up and say, we're about to do it. Then I met with Vanessa and Lakeisha. I met them through helping Dr. Willie Wilson.
Okay.
Donna was in the transportation business with me.
Oh, wow.
We changed the
Okay.
world, me and Donna. Then Alicia, when I would call into the Butt Naked Truth to help people that might be in need, Alicia and her husband would always go and help somebody just by hearing me on the radio.
Wow.
And then Sister Sakia. Sister Sakia, remember the black judge that the white man spit on? Remember that?
Yes.
Remember that
Wow.
incident?
Wow.
Sister Sakia called me up and said, hey, sister, I see you always out here fighting. Would you help us stand against the man that spit on the black woman? So each one of these women played a vital role. And then one day I said, hey, after Dr. Wilson, didn't make mayor, but he made such an impact, I said, let's start an organization called A Few Good Women.
I love it.
And this Few Good Women mean, even if we have issues, let's talk about it. Let's promote one another.
That's right.
And that's how A Few Good Women came about. And what I want to do and what we're going to do, I want to go to Washington.
Okay.
I want to ask Trump for it's like I forget how much money, because I'm like real nervous. I don't know what's wrong with me, but Trump put this
I know.
thing
Karen's never
out.
nervous.
I know,
with-
right?
He put this thing out with the revitalization of different cities.
Okay.
So I said, why do we keep allowing our so-called leaders to go get this money when we could go get the money? So let's just organize women, everybody get their business together, and let us go to Washington and say, hey, Trump, we need that, we need this, we need that. So
So A Few Good Women are all business women?
all of them wasn't, no.
Okay.
We all became businesswomen.
Okay, so if
Nice.
someone wanted to get information, or is there a website, or is there a number that you give the viewers? To,
Yeah, well, if you could call 708-351-4003. We have an event coming up on the 24th where Judge will be speaking.
That's awesome.
August 24th at CBI, 5120 South King Drive, from 1 to 3. We will be there where you can meet all the Few Good Women, let you understand how it came about. We will be giving out information on our political people, the roles that they play. We'll be giving out information regarding why is it so important for a judge. Because what I realize is we don't know that we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know that we don't know.
That's deep.
So
That's it.
our communities look the way they look because those that we put in political positions, they're really ignorant. Most people in the political position don't know business. And most people in business don't know politics. So it's time to merge the two. I'm tired of hearing everybody say vote. Okay, then when I vote, then what? We need to literally give people information and say, this is a list, this is a Congress, this is a state Senate, this is, people don't know what to do. And so that's where A Few Good Women have come about, where we're going to help you get involved with your own community with no string, not taking you by the hand, but teaching you, because when you learn, then you're going to want to go and teach somebody else.
That's right.
And that's how A Few Good Women. And I don't know why I'm so nervous.
And
That's it.
to the end, we have Judge Walton. And I'm telling you guys, we all met under Dr. Wilson. He had this, as always, he have these outstanding events, and and we all just seem to connect with divine connection. And so Judge Walton, she was in there, and she got up and she gave a speech. And so I'm like, a judge?
Yes.
Growing up, I've never seen a judge that looked like me, or even a female. So
Right.
when she was talking, I was like, wow. And then she said she was from Inglewood. I'm like, an African-American
Right.
judge from Inglewood?
Inglewood.
I can actually talk. I can, and so for me, I was like, it was an amazing thing. And then on top of that, she's as humble as a lamb. And it's so important to remain humble in any position, because you never know who is watching you. So I never knew that I have these two on here, but something within their spirit touched me to whereas they're reachable, and I thank God for all the connections that I've met. So I'm gonna let Judge Walton tell you guys who she is, how she got started, her position, so on and so forth.
Well, hello. I am Tyria Walton. I am a newly appointed judge here in Cook County. I was appointed by the Supreme Court their unanimous vote, in fact. On June 25th, I was sworn in and became a judge, and I now sit in the traffic division and occasionally in evictions and marriage court. So I was blessed to meet both Cynthia and Karen through the Willie Wilson Foundation. Awesome brother who's trailblazer.
Yes,
he really is. He's making a great difference in the world. So it's bigger than Chicago. He's making a difference in the world. So I've connected with Cynthia and Karen, and it's been great ever since. So I always stress the importance of knowing who your judges are. A lot of us vote, and we only vote for the president, or who's running for alderman, or who's running for governor, and we never pay attention to who's running for judge or who's being retained for judge. So it is important that you know who your judicial leaders are, because at the end of the day, it is us who deal with the day-to-day issues, whether it be a minor traffic ticket, whether it be an eviction, whether it be a bad tenant or a bad landlord, or lead in the paint, or something that happens at school, or a failed mitigation with a car accident. It can be anything. Most of the time, those issues come before the court, and you need to know that you have judges on the bench who are fair, who are qualified to be there in the first place. And it's important not only that they look like you, because black women are only 2%. Of the judiciary across the board. And so it is important that we have judges that look like us. And the judicial system is addressing the lack of diversity somewhat, especially as in recent years, but we're still at 2%. So you want judges not only who look like you, but who come from your communities. As Karen said and Cynthia said, I am from Inglewood. I live in Inglewood right now. I've been in Inglewood for years. I'm over in the 6th Ward with Alderman Sawyer. So I'm truly from the community. So I live the issues, I recognize the issues, and I know how to make the law apply and alleviate some of those disparities that have existed for a very long time between what us and a lot of other locations. So you want to make sure you have judges on the bench who are bold enough to challenge disparities and to make sure that fair sentencing is really fair. So our justice on the south side should look the same as it looks on the north side.
That's right.
The south suburbs justice should look the same as it does on the west suburbs.
That's right.
So that's my history. I grew up on the low end of Chicago, 35th and Prairie. I'm a product of Chicago Public Schools. So young people, you can do anything you want to do.
Awesome.
I grew up with people saying what I couldn't do,
Go ahead.
and I stood
So
on faith.
inspiring.
And you know, I'm not selling my religion to anybody, but without God, I wouldn't be at this table. I wouldn't be on this
I know
screen
that's
talking to
right.
you. So for me, God is the center. He's the front and the back end of everything that I do.
I love it.
And it's His grace and mercy that has me here today, along with hard work. So growing up with the Chicago public school system, you already have a wall, right? Because they already think that you're not able to do those tasks that other community citizens can do, but you just have to keep fighting and keep moving.
And that's why it's so important for me to bring people on here that talk like you guys, because there is hope. I mean, there's diamonds in the rough. So often they publicize us and put us on the news, African American women and men, like, you know, we're nothing, we this. And it's like, you know what? I'm like, I always had this passion for youth and just turning things around, just seeing something different. That's why I take my son out of the comfort zone, out of the norm, just to show him that just because you're a product of the hood don't necessarily mean that you have to be of the hood.
And there's good in the hood.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm good in the hood.
So,
Right.
You know, you can move abroad. However, if you stay stagnated, then that's exactly where you'll be. So, you know, it's awesome to hear that you two, despite all the adversaries and just craziness out there.
It's our time. One thing I do know, you can't stop what time it is.
That's right.
I mean, for real. And right now, I've always been who I am. I don't, you know, and I don't like to get people confused, but I don't sugarcoat. I'm not into titles. I'm not into, you know, I remember when I was a young girl, my mother said, "Are you going to college?" I said, "No." And
You knew that when you was young?
Yeah, I knew, yeah. She said, "Why?" Because I love to read.
Okay.
I love to read and I love people. I'm a self-educator. So I said,
I can see
I always wonder, how do people come up with certain names? Like, who called this who called this a bracelet? You know,
Right. Who
so
decided?
I remember when my mother said there's the associates, there's the bachelors, the masters, and the doctrine, right?
All that good stuff.
So when I was young, I used to love to walk down the street and look up at the sky. Then I used to love to watch an ant. Back in my day, you could see an ant. An ant would carry a piece of bread. You could see an ant. And I used to think that was just so fascinating that an ant was taking care of his family.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or
You
such a
know,
large piece
right.
of bread.
When it rained, you could see the worms coming. I mean, so nature always fascinated me. So I said, associate. Well, I need to associate myself with nature. Because that's where I come from.
That's funny.
In order for me to associate myself with nature in the proper way, I need to be a bachelor for as long as I can.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Are you serious?
So as I associate
like that.
myself with
Associate.
nature,
As a bachelor.
as a bachelor, I will begin to master
That's deep.
all of the diseases
deep.
that man has put upon us. Then guess what? I become the doctor of my own world. I've been Dr. Hicks since a little girl. So what made me love Dr. Wilson is when he first met me, he called me Dr. Hicks. And I said, how do you know I'm a doctor?
That's Doc.
Well,
That's Doc. That's
look,
him.
I'm doctor for real. I'm
Now,
doctor
Karen,
for
where'd you
real.
get this phrase? I know you often say, look out your front door.
Because
Right.
we have more pastors with all this money.
Oh, my God.
We have more politicians in all these political powerful positions. Everybody is so-called got it going on. But when you go through the black community, it looks like garbage.
It does.
So it don't match.
It does.
Looking out the front door don't match with all these successful people.
Okay.
That's how I say look out the front door. Because if you go in other communities
Okay.
and look out the front door, they doing something.
Okay.
Look out the front door of the black community.
That's her slogan, y'all. Karen, that's
Look
Karen's
at
slogan.
on the expressway. I drive the same expressway. So how do I see all this trash? Go to the churches. I go to many churches and it's full of trash. So the God that I know, he's healthy, wealthy, intelligent, and clean. I don't see this. So I really, it's not that I don't believe in church, but churches make no sense to me. Because when you go to church, I never hear the pastor say, go read your Bible. I hear him tell a story about what people should read their word. When you begin reading your word, your life will change. I am a living witness. I read my word every day.
Right. I read
I
my
don't
word
miss
too.
it.
I read my word
Literally.
too. Stand on it.
But, quick question
Yes.
for you. So, not to cut you off,
Uh-huh.
my allergies is getting the best of me.
Uh-huh.
There's something coming up for a voting thing, right?
Yes.
When is? Can you tell us a little
So
bit about that?
the election for
Election is
it's March 17th, 2020.
March
So it
17th.
is the same election as the presidential
March
election. So we need to get out here anyway and vote for our presidential candidate of choice.
Okay.
But you need to keep flipping those pages and find me.
Yeah, I was about
Judge
to. Yeah.
Tyria B.
Okay,
Walton.
that's what
We have judges who are running countywide to
Okay.
all of Cook County. Then you have judges like me who are running in the sub-circuit.
Okay.
So the first sub-circuit is my sub-circuit. I sit in the vacancy of the late Rhonda Crawford. She died a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and so
she was
I
on our
am now
show on
filling her
Public and True.
vacancy.
Yeah.
And her seat would end in December of 2020.
Okay.
So the seat that I'm running for will be my own that will
Oh,
begin
okay.
in December of 2020.
Right.
So the first sub-circuit is the south side of Chicago, but it's also the suburbs, specifically Cal City, Burnham, Dalton, Lansing, and South Holland. So the south side of Chicago roughly begins at 67th Street, using State as our division line. So from State all the way east to the water and go all the way to Lansing.
Okay.
And then State west, near Western, 67 to 87.
Okay.
So it's a pretty big sub-circuit. It covers a lot of people. I have a lot of the black wards, and I have a
Awesome.
ward that is Spanish. I have 10. So I have 5 through 10. I have 17, 18, and 21. So if you're in any of those wards or those 5 suburban cities,
right?
you are in my
Right.
sub-circuit, and I presently serve you, and I need your vote so that I can continue to serve you.
And of course, you have a Facebook page, so any event that someone want to look
Right.
you up or see some of the events that you got going
I
on,
do.
so on
I
and so
do.
forth. Can you?
So
be
I have a
kind?
web page. My web page is Tyria B. Walton, the number 4 Judge. .com, and my name is TYRIABWALTON, the number 4 Judge. .com. So that email is TyriaBWalton4Judge@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook, Citizens to Elect Tyria B. Walton, and my personal page is Tyria Walton or Tyria Law Diva Walton. So I'm known as the Law Diva.
That's a black girl.
So let me ask you something. So I ain't never been to, where's your office?
I'm at the Daily Center.
I ain't never been to the Daily Center instead of no judge office. Can I come and bring two of my kids and we can come take a picture and show us the gavel and we
Absolutely. I would love to. I've mentored kids all of my adult life. My last group, I had a mock trial team, Rich Central High School, actually.
Oh, okay.
And I was their
That's dope.
attorney coach for 4 years, and they won first place 4 years in a row.
Because kids, our kids don't see stuff like that. I mean, for the most part, we see basketball, sports. So to have you on was definitely a blessing. I try to tell my kids all the time, there's so many other opportunities out there, and that's why it's important for me to bring people on like you guys to show the kids, like, McDonald's ain't it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm nothing against them, but I'm saying it's a broader audience. It's a broader employment opportunities out there. So,
Well, why we gotta go for jobs? We should be going for contracts.
There you go, Karen.
So when I walk the streets of Inglewood or any of the other neighborhoods, I walk the street and I say hello to people. They are amazed, number one, that I'm a judge saying hello, and then that I look like them. I look like us, and so it is astonishing to most people, and it shouldn't be, because it should be expected, not a surprise.
Right.
And because we are just as smart, just as talented as anybody else, and we're able to get to
so
this
did you go to school for that? Is that like a schooling, or how did you get in that position?
I did. So I left Dunbar in 89. That's right, Dunbar Vocational High School. What's up, y'all? And then I went to U of I. I went to U of I in Champaign. I graduated in 1993.
Okay.
Not with law interest. I was a business major. So when I came out of college with my business, marketing, finance degree, I had a job where I worked as an accountant during the day. And I went to night school for law school.
Wow.
So I finished the law program in January of 97. I took the bar in February of 97. I was admitted into the Illinois State Bar in May of 97. Then the federal bar in June of 97, and then ultimately the capital litigation bar, which is the death penalty bar, in July of 2009. Now I'm glad that
oh my goodness.
I'm glad that the death penalty's gone, because it was too many errors. You can give people a little money when you're wrongfully incarcerated, but you can't give them life back if you sentence them to death. So, it was a long ride, and then continuing learning education. When we were attorneys, you had to keep learning. So every year you have to do 30 hours of school and get fresh on the law.
We should do that with life anyway.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. I'm so
it's
powerful.
powerful.
We should do that with life anyway.
It's powerful. So up until about a week and a half ago, when I got to the traffic division in June, I was the only African American face, not just African American woman, but African American face, period. Wow. So it was easy to say, "Where's the black judge?" And it was like, I was it.
Did you get any pushback? Did people acting different? Did they acting different
at the courts? Mm-hmm. Not so much indifferent, no, but just the surprise element, because most of the people on the other side of the bench are minorities. Right. Brown and black. So it's what. So they were shocked, to see me, and I look a lot younger than I am, and so they thought I was a young person. But yeah. So I practiced for 22 and a half years after law school. So that's giving you a little math. So I was a criminal defense attorney for a long time. I represented indigent people for 20 of the 22 that I practiced, and the last 10 of my career was representing men, women, and youth charged with murder, first degree murder.
Wow.
So I've had quite the ride in my career, and I'm bringing qualification, not just an African American face.
Come on, girl.
Why wouldn't we vote for her? Y'all hear that little spiel? I mean, she can definitely
If you don't know her, get to know her. Go on her Facebook page, share her, connect her. Let's make this happen. She's going to be one of the speakers at my event on August 24th, 1 to 3. CBI, 5120 South King Drive.
Right.
So it's almost time to wrap up. But Karen, you also do something with a a radio station, correct? Tell us a little bit about
Butt
that.
Naked Truth Radio.
naked.
Hell
Butt
yes.
naked.
If you can't stand the heat, don't get in his kitchen.
She said butt naked.
Butt
truth.
naked.
So that
truth.
mean y'all
We
no
be
filter.
naked, baby.
No
I mean,
filter?
no filter. I'm serious. I love Harold Davis. Harold Davis calls it like it is. How I met him, I was listening to him on the radio in my car, and I heard him say that he turned down the contract for what's that in the jail? Aramont.
Okay.
You know, he refused to be a pass-through. And I was shocked to hear a black person turn down because the same thing happened to me. So I was amazed that we got a black person that didn't sell out, didn't take the money. So I had to get to know him. And so I started calling in and, you know, connecting. And now Harold Davis is like a brother, man. The rest is history. I have a talk show called Making Love by Thinking.
That's what
I didn't know that.
On Wednesdays, every Wednesday from 5 to 6.
Okay.
And I get real raw because sex is a subject that we need to talk about. Pastor David Bryant, the other day we were talking, and he said, the Bible said, be fruitful and multiply. Well, in order to be fruitful and multiply, sex had to be involved.
That's true.
So, you know, we gotta start talking about the forbidden fruit. And so I just want to thank you for inviting
No,
us.
so again, I want to thank you guys
Sister.
for being available. Thank you for being a
Yes.
phone call away. You guys don't know how important this was for me to get you guys on, so I appreciate you guys from the heart. I'm happy to know that God sent me to you guys, and y'all don't laugh at my shirt. My son took a picture in the shirt. I had on a green shirt. It didn't go with the green screen, so I had to change. So y'all
Cute.
don't laugh
You
at
can
me.
fit it.
Thank you for your awesome work.
Right, for real.
I'm trying.
Thank you.
I'm trying.
Now you do a good job. Get rid of that word try. You're doing it.
You are awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate you
You
guys.
are.
So real quick, you guys want to shout out anybody? Because we got about 60 seconds.
Shout out to my, no, let me shut up.
Well, I want to shout out to
Shout out to my
everybody.
mom.
Right.
Hey, Miss B.
Oh, I wish my
As
mama
always,
was
thank God
here.
for Can TV for giving me this platform, for my son, for my support system. And until again, you guys see us
Shout out
next
Few Good
Tuesday.
Women. Few Good
Same
Women.
time. You guys be safe out there.
Vote.
Vote.